It is WWRL's Legacy Day. It is when radio legends are back on the air, putting their magic on the air one more time. We've had a little E Diddy, oh, this is the jock. We had a little sock it to me mama. We even had a little put your foot on the rock, Patterson, don't you dare stop. We're going to continue with the RL Legacy Day, out of one thing, right back into another.
You know, you said that to me the other day. You know, I had forgotten I used to say that.
Yes, is that right?
I had forgotten that, because I turned to Cynthia. I said, you know, he said that, and all of a sudden it came back. Yeah, you used to say it all the time.
That's right.
I don't think I've said it since I left here.
Yes, see, there's certain kind of things you can't say unless you're here.
You're right.
But Jeff Troy, the devilish angel, the name Jeff Troy was the correct answer on a trivia question
Yes,
today.
it was.
Who is known as the devilish angel?
Heaven is where I come from, and heaven is where I'm going. You are in the hands of a devilish angel.
Oh, my goodness. With another dusty diamond.
You know why they used to call me that, right?
Why?
Because I was a real nice guy that for some reason or other always teetered on the edge of trouble.
Really? Uh-oh, look who's walking in the door. My goodness.
Because you've got personality.
All right, yeah.
Personality. How you doing,
What's going on, my man? All right, sitting here with Robert.
Hey,
everything's
everybody's coming on.
Say, I'm living in bad condition.
bad condition.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that?
Listen, I remember some lyrics from a song. I've been singing this song ever since Lloyd did it. I remember Bad Conditions. There's a song, Lloyd, I don't remember the title of the song anymore. If I think about it, I can recall the title as well. But see if Lloyd remembers this song. The lyrics said something about, we borrowed a pleasure from the Indians and called it all cigarettes. And now we're spending a national budget trying to make the young folk quit.
It's cause I understand.
I understand. I understand. Why can't people be free?
Why can't they be free? That's
That's it.
exactly what it is.
Now, Mr. Price won't know this, but and it's not recently, at least 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I'm walking on 8th Avenue and 41st Street, and this big black Lincoln comes whipping around the corner and almost chased me up on the sidewalk. It was Lloyd. And I started hurling obscenities. When I saw who the driver was, I started hurling obscenities and shaking my fist. You know.
Wait, take the time. Wait, take your time.
I don't know about these new...
I know.
This new technology.
Wait a minute, this is big time radio. Wait, let me help you.
How does this work, Bob?
Oh, you got it on the wrong side altogether.
Okay.
Do it like that.
Oh, do it like
there
that.
you go.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And now you got it. Okay.
Now I got it. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm not accustomed to this. This is called a microphone.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh,
You mean to
okay.
tell me you don't do your radio program with the headphones and a microphone attached, lady?
Yes, I do, but it's...
Wait, put it on here.
Okay.
Put it on here.
Okay.
Help him with this. Help him, Rocky. Help him.
Like
This
Wilson Pickett said.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, good.
All right.
All right. Ooh, now I feel like Janet Jackson or something.
Yeah, that's right. Seems like Garth Brooks did his concert with this microphone.
Yeah.
I think it was this microphone, too.
Is that one of Ray Goodman and Brown's people?
That's one of them.
That's one of them.
That's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, still around here. Still here. I remember that guy when he was a little kid.
Me too.
Yeah.
I know he's selling something. He's always selling something.
Selling something, I know.
Lloyd Price, though, I want to tell you, this is one of the sweetest gentlemen ever in our business. He has always been such a pleasure. This man, and I've said it many times, even when he's come up to CBS and we talk about the fact that he was such an innovator. This man, the first and only big band in rhythm and blues, rock and roll. I think he had big band before Ray Charles did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I told Ray in Atlanta, we was on a show together, and I had like 14 men.
Yeah.
Gil Askey at that time was conducting. And Ray, it's like my idol, and we went up there and watched it, you know what I mean? I said, Lloyd, man, where you get them cats? He had Pee Wee and I think Nat Adderley.
Yeah.
And he had about 7 guys. I had 14.
Right.
And it was just impossible.
Yeah.
And I told James Brown the same thing.
Right. That's right.
If we're going to work together, you got to have this.
That's right.
But otherwise, it looks like it's one-sided.
Yeah. New Yorkers are coming back to where it all started. And this is indeed where it all started. And one of the people certainly who is a part of that on the entertainment side, on the performance side, is Lloyd Price. And Lloyd, welcome to WWRL Legacy Day.
Well, Bob, I thank you very much. I was driving down the road and I had all kinds of flashbacks, man.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to you guys. I said, wow, the Apollo.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Small's Paradise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But earlier this morning, people called to talk to Eddie O.J., and somehow people asked, where did you hang out? Where did you go? And, of course, Eddie O.J. went to
Boston Road.
Boston Road.
Gregory used to
Mickey and Sylvia
Yeah, Mickey and
Yeah,
Sylvia.
yeah, in the Bronx.
on Boston Road.
Yeah. Oh, I just forgot the name of the club. Blue Morocco.
Oh, the Blue Morocco.
Blue
yes,
Morocco.
yes.
Now, what was,
Morocco.
and it was on Boston Post Road.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Right.
Blue, was that the name of the? That's the same club, wasn't
The
there?
Blue Morocco.
The Boston Post Ballroom or something.
Well, Jimi Hendrix and 2 or 3 other people started in that room.
Yeah. But the Blue Morocco.
Yeah.
Sylvia's Blue Morocco.
Sylvia's Blue Morocco, right. I used to have a Thursday night thing at the Crystal Ballroom on 125th Street.
Yeah, that
on
sounds familiar.
Thursday nights. In fact, I followed...
Was it downstairs?
No, this one was upstairs.
Okay.
Most of these places were always upstairs.
Right.
In fact,
Or in the basement.
I followed Eddie O.J. in there.
Is that right?
I took over Thursday nights with Billy Nichols. Billy Nichols and the Soul Swingers.
Billy Nichols.
Billy
Yeah,
Nichols,
remember?
wow.
Great
Somebody
band
mentioned
leader
the-
and guitar player.
And then
Yeah.
somebody mentioned a club that was downtown that was named after a man. I forgot who they said. They were trying, Frankie and Eddie O.J. trying to recall the club, and it was something like, I forgot the guy's name, but since we were down there, then I said, well, there was another club, and I remember seeing Eddie O.J.
Mittens.
coming. No,
That was on 118th.
That was 118th
That was
Street.
my block.
down in the 40s or something.
Yeah.
The guy's name was Al, something like
Oh,
that.
Alan Dix.
Alan.
Alan Dix.
Alan
Yeah,
Dix.
it was a restaurant.
Yeah, Alan Dix.
They said they used to hang out.
Everybody used to hang out there.
That's what
Oh,
they
yeah,
said.
Alan Dix
That's what
and-
they said.
And we were talking about Tommy Smalls, and Tommy Smalls had a little chicken restaurant.
That's right.
Yeah.
What was it, over on 52nd?
Something like that, yeah.
52nd Street. That's absolutely.
And that
52nd and 8th Avenue?
Yes, between 8th and Broadway.
Right.
And the lady
right.
that called in earlier was right. The first Dr. Jive was Phil
Oh
Gordon.
yeah, I
1948.
said that. Now
It was a house name.
Let me
RL
just-
owned the name.
Hey, I said that.
Yes.
I said it was a house name, and everybody was impressed that I knew that. And I had to admit, well, Bobby J told me. But the other club, and I said I remember seeing Eddie O.J. down on Broadway and 52nd Street.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him walk in and out of a club that was advertised as having a multi-lighted retractable stage. Say, you could tell I wrote the copy.
You talk-
Affectionately known as Lloyd Price's turntable.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
One of the very few nightclubs with a recording studio in
That's
it.
right.
Hello.
That's right. That
Oh,
was-
yeah.
that was-
We tried to put it together.
It was a beautiful club. Of course, you went in after Birdland. 'Cause that's where Birdland.
That was Birdland,
Look,
yeah.
the jazz corner of the world.
That's correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
Second
We
Street
came
and
in
Broadway.
and started to refer to that now as the entertainment corner of the world.
Absolutely.
No, the entertainment capital of the world.
Capital.
Broadway
Correct.
at 52nd Street.
Now it's something else altogether.
Flash dance.
I don't know what they're doing up in there.
But you know when you got to take a break.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back. Stay close to your radio. We have enough people in here for a group. And they could be called the Bad Brothers from Super 16. We're going to have a party indeed. That's Stagger Lee, the legendary Stagger Lee.
Did you hear when he said the police is coming?
That's right. Before we're going to talk a little bit about Stagger Lee, and Al Goodman from Ray Goodman and Brown is here. Of course, Bobby J. Lloyd Price is here. Jeffrey Troy. Vaughn Harper from WWRL. I know that people know him from another radio station, but there was a time when he used to prance. There was a time when he used to dance.
He was working for me at that time.
Vaughn Harper's in the house.
Well,
It was nepotism because I hired my son.
That's
He was
right.
Vaughn is my son.
He's your
see.
son.
if you were anybody and could do anything in radio, you had to come through
had
here.
to be.
Absolutely.
You had to come through
One
here.
time or another.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a chance to say hello to everybody. You can call us at 718-899-7711. We'll take your phone calls. You want to say hello to Lloyd Price, Bobby J, Al Goodman. We've got everybody in here. You want to say hello to Vaughn Harper, Jeff Troy. And in a few minutes, we're going to put a soul server on the phones. Hank Spann rejoins us. Enoch Hawthorne Gregory, the Dixie Drifter, also is going to join us for a few minutes on the phone. Kind of a WWRL family reunion. This is the season, right? The summer, the season for family reunions. And look at these phones lit up already. I need a trivia question to see what this number.
I got one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
When I got here in 1970, I came about 2-3 months after Hank Spann, and I worked weekends. And then a gentleman who was a member of the regular staff left, and I took his place as a full-timer. He was called the Master. Who is he?
I couldn't even answer that one.
He was the master.
Wait a minute. Let me hear the question again.
He came with Jerry Bledsoe in 1968. They came together. He left in 1971. I replaced him as a full-timer. He did evenings.
And he was
one of his favorite stage sayings was, "The bigger the leg, the harder I beg." He was called the Master. Who is he?
Okay, we'll see. No, we want the audience. Don't give it away. We want the audience to say, to respond. And if you can answer that question, and I'm glad to have Bobby J to ask the questions, because Bobby J could also tell you when the teenagers recorded Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Bell Sound Studio.
Was in, see, he got the name of the studio. Who was in there and who went for the coffee?
Eddie Green was on guitar. I think Panama Francis on drums. Danny Wright on tenor saxophone.
And the elevator operator's name
was Jose.
See, that's the kind of stuff I can tell you about the 1955 Dodgers. Yeah, I know the clubhouse man's name. I know the public address. I know Andre Baruch, the public address speaker. You know, he's got that kind of information. I got it about the 55 Dodgers. He got it about everybody in the 50s. and Al Goodman. With that little pitiful softball team, Bobby, that beat us one time. And wait, and I just found out that was the only game they ever won. Really? but if you can answer this question from Bobby J, we'll send you a copy of the Legacy Rhythm and Soul series. It's a 3 CD set. Also, we have some copies of the RL Soul survey sheet from the week of May 4th, 1972. And we'll look at some of the songs that are on here, and we've got these songs even now. And so we'll play some of these as well. We've got some people on the phones who just want to say hello, or perhaps even have an answer for the question. Now, Bobby, say the question one more time.
One of the Soul Brothers. He was called the Master. What's his name?
One of the Soul Brothers. Right. He was called the Master.
Right.
Anybody know his name? If you don't know his name, you're still free to call, say hello.
Good evening.
Say hello to Lloyd Price. I can't name these guys all the time. Say hello to Jeff Troy, Lloyd Price, Bobby J,
hello?
Al Goodman.
Cliff Perkins.
Cliff Perkins. Everybody's in here. Is there a caller on the line?
Yes, Kevin Seeley from Jamaica.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Bobby J, nice to hear you on RL again.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I always see you at the Motown Cafe.
Right, I'll be there next Tuesday. Come on down.
Andrea Wiener.
Right, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
She called earlier this morning.
Oh, I figured she would call.
Yes, she did.
No, you guys at RL should bring back the old RL jingles.
The old RL jingle. Okay.
The big RL.
Mm-hmm. And what you guys are doing now is very reminiscent of what CBS FM does every 2 years.
That's right. In fact, I must say, this gathering today reminds me of the first time that this was done at WCBS FM, I think in 1985, I think it was.
Right.
It's something that any station like this is entitled to do.
Absolutely.
The RL legacy is of such that RL is literally compelled to regroup from time to time. But I thank you for your call.
Okay, thank you.
All right now.
Okay.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hi.
Bob?
Yes.
Oh, I want to shoot you. All of you boys, I'm telling you, I'm one of your old senior citizens. Been knowing all of you about when you got started. And I was so sick I had to go to the doctor today, and I had my radio in the doctor's office, which I shouldn't. I couldn't call, but I could listen. And I wanted to talk to Frankie Cocker. I'm sitting here looking at an album I won from y'all back in 57, I think. I got Hal Atkins. I got Dixie Drifter.
Oh, I remember the album.
And then you remember when you had the last white disc jockey up here?
Bob T.
Bob T.
Well, there was one after Bob.
And then I don't remember him, but then I have Marty Weekler, your music director.
Marty Wexler.
Wexler, whatever. I remember that. Rocky G.
That's right.
Oh, Lord, Frankie Crocker, when he first come up here, I wish he could see this picture of him, because all of your pictures is on this album. And I wish he could see what he looked like
yellow
when
cover.
he first come here. And I got, Leon Shepherd,
Lonnie Shepherd.
Well, whatever. I can't see without my glasses. I had the glasses, and I done followed y'all all over. It looked like I wasn't going to get on, and I've been so upset all day. But it's just so nice to hear you boys, because ever since y'all been coming up, I've been with you.
We thank you for that.
And the people say to me, my God, don't you know another station? I said, you look at what you want to listen, and I'm going to listen at what I want. And WWRL is my station, and Frankie Crocker and all. I know all of them when they come up here babies, you know. I'm in my 80s now, but I still love
God bless you.
And love the music. Only thing I can't dance no more, but I can rock.
All right, now, thank you for calling.
Thank you very, very much for taking my call.
All right.
Now you made my night, day, and rest of the week.
All right. All right, now, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. We've got a copy of the RL Soul Survey Sheet.
Soul 16 survey.
Soul 16 survey. We're going to go back to May 4th, 1972. Now, Bobby J, 1972,
Okay.
How would you introduce this record?
There she is, Mavis Staples, the Staple Singers. Number 1 on the Soul 16 survey. I know a place, I'll take you there.
We're coming back at 718-899-7711. And we've got everybody in here. This is a WWRL family reunion. The music director, Linda Haynes, walked in the house. I tell you, everybody, say hello, Linda.
Hello.
Say it in here. First time we ever let Linda
That's right.
First time.
on the
Hello.
microphone. That people kept asking.
Her fans
See,
kept asking.
That's
for
why
it.
we never let her on. However, we've got everybody in the house. We've got some phone calls we're going to take. We've got the Soul Survey Sheet from the week of May 4th, 1972. We're going to play some more of the music, get some more of the disc jockeys in the house, the radio personalities, to bring the music on the way they used to do back in the day.
We didn't get an answer to the question either.
We didn't get an answer to the question. We have to give out the question again. Before we do that, we've got some people, maybe somebody who's holding on, might have an answer to the question. I want to come back and I want to talk a little bit more about Stagger Lee and the whole circumstance within which you wrote that song. How many gold records did you have?
11.
11.
Mm-hmm.
And Stagger Lee was one of them.
Right.
Lloyd would have a gold record, everything. He did a song about 3 little pigs. Had a gold record. You know, he would record stuff that other people had already had a big hit, and he'd have the gold record. Was it Johnny Mathis or was it Misty?
Misty, Earl
Yeah.
Garner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We're going to take some phone calls. Hello, you're on the air.
Good evening.
Hi.
Yeah, it's indeed a pleasure to talk to all of you brothers. I remember all of you brothers. Something I was thinking of as I was listening to James Brown. James Brown actually had 3 and 4 songs in one. I noticed that in his breaks and things, he never went to what you might call a normal bridge. When he'd break, he'd go into a whole different thing. I say, wow, I say, this dude, and this is something all of the years when listening to James, you know, that I just noticed. That's why I mentioned it. But to Brother Lloyd. Lloyd, are you there?
I'm here, my brother.
Yeah, it's good to speak with you, brother. I don't know if you remember me or not. My name is Mel Shepherd.
Mel, I remember you.
Huh?
How you doing, my brother?
How you doing? You remember me?
I think I do.
Well, I used to work with your brother, with Leo.
Yes.
I was a singer in his band for about 3 or 4 years, and we were out in Freeport at the Celebrity Club.
That's right.
We were out there every weekend. This was in the 60s.
Right.
Yeah, and I came down to your studio, and you recording a brother, Moondog.
That's right.
Yes, sir. And in fact, we did a demo down your place.
All right, wait
Your
now,
mother
wait.
and
Don't go too far. You'll be telling everything in a minute. Here on WWRL's Legacy Day, he began talking about James Brown.
James, yeah.
And James having 3 songs in a song.
Right.
And I remember that there was a routine in the Ray Goodman and Brown act
Right.
where I believe Harry would do his own imitation of
James Brown. Yeah, we started off with the good old days with the shoe bop, and he would do the slop. And he said, well, doing this song reminded me of James Brown. And then we would do a James Brown song. But James just have a groove. I don't think James had a song. James just had the groove.
That's what Harry said. Harry said, I think I'll go over here to the chair. Pick up the lamp.
Right. Throw the lamp up against the wall, and then I'm going to go kiss myself.
But wait a minute. That's before we take you to the bridge. Maceo.
Yeah. Bring it down, but I want you to blow.
To the bridge.
Lloyd, Stagger Lee. I mean, what was happening? Because Stagger Lee was about a gambler in the park, and it seemed to be just right on time. I remember hearing that song. We were growing up in the projects. I didn't know then that Lloyd was the same age as us. But we were growing up in the projects, and that song, it was as though he knew exactly how we saw ourselves, you know? But when you did Stagger Lee, what were you thinking about?
Well, actually, Bob, Stagger Lee, I had heard different kind of little reflection of versions of it all my life from a kid. My uncle, my father, who plucked on a guitar, would call it Shackly. It was kind of difficult to understand him back during that time. But when Stagger Lee became a real person to me is when I was in the service. I had to write a play for General Maxwell Taylor. I was in the special service, and I had to come up with something. I got tired of doing Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White and Tea for Two. So I told him, let me present a little play to you. So I wrote the thing called Stagger Lee, because I had heard it. That's why you hear the night was clear. That was a light thing, and the moon was yellow, you know? And the leaves, you know? Came tumbling down. And the only thing I could play on the piano was that 8-bar blues thing. And that was that shuffle thing. Yeah. And I just made up the words. I was standing on the corner when I heard about bulldog bark. I didn't know about poodles and all that stuff. In Louisiana, we call everything a bulldog. So, and that was the beginning of it, and I didn't expect that to be the hit. When I got out of the service, of course, I had Just Because, but I formed my own record company, KRC, and then ABC was just going into business, ABC Paramount, and asked me to come up with a song, and they distributed my line. So I had this song, because Clyde McFadden, whom I thought was one of the greatest writers and singers of all time, had a song called Baby, Please Let Me Know If You're Gonna Love Me. And I had a song called You Need Love. I thought it would have been the greatest song of all time. I still think I'm the only one who heard it. They flipped it over, and there was Stagger Lee. One evening, I got a call from ABC, said, Lloyd, in the past 4 hours, we've sold 175,000. They said, we've never had this kind of record to do that. Ever. I think this is the first record sold that many of rhythm and blues, or rock and roll, whatever you call it, in one evening. That big, and that's with Stagger Lee. Went on to do 3.5 million records. And I've been hearing that there have been records like, I think it was Boys II Men had a record for 13 weeks, #1. Stagger Lee was #1 for 18 weeks.
#1 for 18 weeks.
Yeah.
And then somebody did a play, this some years ago.
Yeah, Adam Wade and Ruth Brown, they had a thing down on 2nd Avenue off Broadway Theater. Called Stagger Lee.
Yeah. Yes. You were down there for opening night. I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. They say, and the real Stagger Lee is in the audience. You can say hello to Lloyd Price, Jeff Troy, Al Goodman, Vaughn Harper, everybody. Bobby J is in here. Cliff, what's your last name?
Perkins.
Cliff Perkins from Soul Generation, and the music director back in the 1970s, Linda Haynes. She wasn't the 1970s? 1980s. In the 1970s, she was working for me. I was public affairs director. She was a little girl.
She says she's too young to remember any of this.
She doesn't go back to the 70s. Yeah, she read about this stuff in history books. I know. You want to say hello, you can join us right now at 718-899-7711. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello? I want to say I'm enjoying the whole program. I remember all these people, but I want to speak especially to Lloyd Price and Dan J. Bobby J.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hi, Lloyd here.
Hi, Bobby here.
I still have a record Stagger Lee. I still have a record Stagger Lee.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I enjoy it. I certainly am glad to hear you on the air.
Thank you very much, my dear.
Okay, now let me see this today.
Here's Bobby. He's right here.
Okay.
Hi.
Bobby.
Yes.
Mary Randolph.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing better now that I'm talking to you.
Good. I'm glad
glad to hear you.
Well, I'm glad you're out there.
You're on WMCA, right?
No, I'm on WCBS FM.
I mean, okay, I will try and get you. I don't want to hold the line, but I know
All
you're
right.
waiting.
Okay, now I appreciate you calling us as we celebrate this WWRL Legacy Day. We can get in. Where are we? We can get in one more phone call. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Oh, hi. I'm Harry. I'm a friend of Vaughn Hopper's. I used to play with him on Tricks and Lucifers. I'd like to say hello to Vaughn. And I'm glad I read the paper about you changing your format. Because...
No. I'm not changing a format.
No, he's talking about I am.
You're talking about... okay.
About you changing your format because the vehicle at work is just AM. So the button to the right is the right button. Because I listen to y'all. Y'all play the right thing. And I'm glad that I finally got through to say hello. And God bless and keep on doing what you're doing.
All right, now. Thank you very much for calling.
Question. Did anybody answer that question about the master?
Nobody. Yeah, who's the master?
Was it Al-G?
That's correct.
There it is.
There you go.
Al-G, the master.
Now, I need you to hold on, all right?
Okay,
so that
I
we
will
can
do
get
that.
your name and your address, and we can send you this the Legacy Rhythm and Soul Series music pack.
All right, thank you.
All right, stay right there.
Okay.
Okay. We're celebrating WWRL's Legacy Day, and we're going back to the week of May 4th, 1972. We've got the legends in the house. Radio personalities, premier radio personalities, premier performers, and you can share it all. You can even talk to them. You can be a part of this whole presentation. Just call me at 718-899-7711. Now, if we look at May 4th, 1972, the number 3 song was by the Shylights, and The Devilish Angel is in the house. See if we can get Jeff Troy to bring it on.
1 minute now before 7 o'clock, you're in touch with WWRL 1600, 100% pure soul, as we take you to the Windy City with the Shylights.
I'd be in trouble if you left me now. 'Cause have you ever seen such a helpless man? Oh, no.
I want to know how to back announce a record. As you come out of this, what would you do? How do you back announce this record?
From the Windy City. Red, Gene, Squirrel, and Marshall, the fabulous Shylights.
So you got to know that, though. See, the way I would do it, I come out singing. Whoa, girl. I think I'm one of the singers. I'll be in trouble if you left me now. As we continue the WWRL Legacy Day, this segment of like a WWRL family reunion, some of the artists whose music was big and in many cases broken, as they say in the record industry. It was broken on WWRL. Broken in the record industry means a good thing. That's what we would all like to have happen. One of the people who was breaking records every morning in WWRL, Enoch Hawthorne Gregory, the Dixie Drifter. Welcome to the reunion.
Hello, guys.
Hey! What's happening, Drifter?
I heard a couple of laughs that I think I recognize. Bert, are you there?
No, Bird left already.
I'll be a son of a gun.
But we can tell you who is in here. Bobby J is here.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Troy is here.
All right.
Lloyd Price is here.
Oh, my goodness.
You know
Bobby,
he's...
Miss Claudia.
Now
you can tell how far back I go.
There you go. Linda Haynes is here. You remember Linda Haynes?
Sure.
And Vaughn Harper is here.
Hi, Vaughn.
Hey, how you doing?
No, you just come in here a little bit closer to say this.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse
fine.
me. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Guys from FM radio.
Doing great. You know, you really should have set up some TV cameras for this. You know that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Next time, Bob.
If it was as easy as that, I certainly would have done it. You know, so they say that the illegal immigrants are taking people's jobs.
Yeah.
If you think you can take a job, pick one and go take it tomorrow. You know, if it was as easy as that. But we're going to do it again, of course. And we intend to do it as an annual event. But I got notes during the day that said, "No, we like this. Do it every month." Another note came down a little bit later. I really like this. Do it every week.
That's going to run up your phone bill, Bob.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what we will do, though, we'll try to get all of those things in place. And one of the things I want you to do while Greg is with us, of course, if you want to say hello to Enoch Gregory, I want to give you an opportunity to do that. He's on your phone at 718-899-7711. Now, a lot of people in here are disc jockeys and performers,
That's right.
like Al Goodman.
I hear that's going on a lot in New York City.
Well, Al Goodman is part of our All-Star Morning Show,
All right.
along with Billy Brown from Ray
Okay.
Goodman and Brown.
All right.
Two of New York's newest radio personalities.
You know the Moments.
He said you'll know him as the Moments.
No, I remember them as Ray Goodman and Brown.
Okay.
It wasn't quite back to King Tut.
Okay. We are remembering, we're chronicling, we are enshrining everybody.
Let me set this up, Bob. Many of us, as you started to say, many of us, we were on-air personalities, but many of us were also recording
That's what I was
artists.
trying to say, yes.
Frankie had a couple of albums. He had an orchestra once on a Casablanca.
Heart and Soul.
That's right. That's right.
Heart and Soul.
And
I seem to remember that.
And as you know,
Gary Bird.
Gary Bird recorded with Stevie Wonder and
his own rap album.
That's right. Every Brother Ain't a Brother.
That's right. He did it a little bit earlier.
That's right.
And,
Gary had an international hit. Didn't
Sure.
Jerry Bledsoe.
Jerry Bledsoe appeared with the Fat Back Band, and I with the Laddens and now the Teenagers, and Enoch Hawthorne Gregory was also a recording artist.
I hope you call Teddy Van up.
There's a new place in heaven, I'm told, where stands 3 chairs made of pure gold. 1 chair's for the Queen, Dinah Washington, her name, and singing soul was her fame. She's up there in the new place called Soul Heaven. Soul Heaven. The 2nd chair is for the king, Nat King Cole, his name. A voice soft as velvet, long may he reign in Soul Heaven. Soul Heaven. Now, the 3rd chair is for the prince. His name, Sam Cooke. You know, when it comes to soul, Sam Cooke, why, Sam Cooke wrote the book. Chairs made of pure gold in a place set aside for the royalty of soul. There they are, side by side, together, up there in Soul Heaven. Yeah, in Soul Heaven.
Enoch Hawthorne Gregory, the Dixie Drifter. Greg, earlier today we did a series of trivia questions. And one of the trivia questions was, who was known as the Dixie Drifter and where was he from? Mm-hmm. And of course people went, the first caller was Dixie Drifter was Enoch Gregory. Mm-hmm. It took about 2 calls before somebody said Hertford, North Carolina. But if you listen to WWRL in the 70s, everybody knew where Gregory was from. He would talk about North Carolina every day. Every morning.
2/3 of Brooklyn was from North Carolina at the time. The demographics might have changed by now.
That's right. No, I think it's the same. That's right. There's some clubs, some organizations in Brooklyn of people from North Carolina.
Oh yeah, we used to do dances from the different towns that we were from.
Yeah.
Biggest thing in the street, man.
That's right. My father was from North Carolina.
Oh really?
As a matter of fact.
That's where you.
Yeah.
That's where you got your. That little bit of country you got.
That's right, little bit. Yeah, a little bit. When I came to RL, people like Bobby J and Hank and Bledsoe said they had to kind of hip me up.
Yeah.
You know, and Bledsoe said, you got to learn to talk like this. And I said, well, how you do that? He said, you got to drink turpentine. All kind of stuff.
And Rod Gut.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Hank today?
We talked to Hank today, and in fact, I'm calling him right now, and nobody's picking up the phone because he intends to join us in this segment as well.
California time's a little different.
Well, we made provisions for that.
Okay.
Greg, this is big time radio. You want to say hello to Enoch Hawthorne Gregory? He's on your phone at 718-899-7711. Not there? Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey.
I've enjoyed your program all day, and I'd like to say hello to Enoch Gregory.
Hello, you've got me.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I
Who are you?
enjoyed you when you were on WWRL many years ago,
And what's
and
your
I'm
name?
from North Carolina also. And I do remember my name is Enoch Hawthorne Gregory, and I'm from Hertford, North Carolina.
And what is your name? And where were you from?
I'm from Kinston, North Carolina.
I know where it is.
And I've been in New York for a long time, and I enjoyed all of the DJs on WWRL.
It was great to talk to you.
And you're still in New York now?
No, I'm down in a town called Upper Marlboro, Maryland. It's right on 95, right outside of Washington, D.C. Been here about
Okay,
15
so
years.
good luck to you. And if Von Harper's there, could I say hello to him too, please?
Sure. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Harper.
How are you?
You are my other all-time favorite DJ.
Hey, that's a lovely thought. Being the same thought as Enoch Hawthorne Gregory. That's all right.
Yes, I've been listening to you since you were doing the shows out at Reed's Beach.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you're going way back. Oh.
He just fainted.
And I don't know if you received it, but I had written you a letter.
Wait now. You
asking
sure you can talk about this letter?
To play a record. And the title of the was called Human, but I don't know who the DJ was. Who
Tommy
the
Hunt.
person was.
Tommy Hunt, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
I could not remember, but I have been listening on the oldie show on Sunday, and I have not heard that song yet. And I've enjoyed this show all day.
All right. Keep
Thank
listening
you,
to WWRL.
Bob.
All right? Listen tomorrow. We've got more as it goes on and it goes on. This is the legacy. Today is Legacy Day, but WWRL is the legacy station. So if you want to relive the magic, we've got 100% pure soul every day on WWR. I should let Al Goodman, one of our newest air personalities, show you how we do the call letters. We got to do the call letters with an attitude. WWRL. You know what I mean?
You just knew that Frankie was in the station, did you?
Yes, Frankie was here. Yeah, Frank was here. Everybody was here today. In fact, the people who came through have pointed out that anybody who is anybody has had to be here today.
Wow.
This is Legacy Day on WWRL, and we've got the legends in the house. They've been here all day long. Jeffrey Troy is with us. Bobby J is with us. Hi, I'm Bobby J. Now, who was that? Was that me or Bobby J?
That was memorized. Hey, that's copyrighted now.
That's
copyrighted. I didn't even let my son do that.
You got to copyright it out of one thing. That's right back into another.
Helping you relive the best memories of your life.
There you go. Yeah, indeed, indeed. And Lloyd Price is here. Everybody is in here, and you can join us in in a few minutes. We're going to open the phone lines again. Enoch Gregory is with us, and we've been talking about some of the glory days of radio, and the glory days of radio are not necessarily over. And there's still a lot of great things happening, and we're looking forward to radio even into the 21st century. Radio in the new millennium. See what that is going to be like.
If there is one.
If there is radio, or if there's a new millennium.
Millennium.
There's a song in gospel song that say, I believe I'll run on and see what the end gonna be. Don't give up now. Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle.
That's the urban preacher part in you.
There you go. One of the things I want to talk about is we talked about some of the music that was that we were playing during the 60s, during the 70s. Talked about some of the artists, and can't get it on that line.
Have you heard from the Manhattans today?
We haven't heard from the Manhattans. No, we haven't. And in this time around, we were not in touch with a lot of entertainers. Maybe next time around we might do that.
Sure.
We heard from Chuck Jackson. And of course, Al Goodman is here from Ray Goodman and Brown. Cliff is here from Soul Generation. And who else was there? Somebody else was in. Lloyd Price is here, right here, before my very eyes.
What is Lloyd doing these days?
Well, Lloyd can respond.
I'm doing great, Enoch. How you doing, man?
Okay, you ever come around Washington?
Yes, you know, most of my family's there. I have a lot of nieces and nephews and 2 sisters right there in D.C.
Well, you have to give me a call sometime when you're in the area.
I certainly will.
Anybody can give me a call.
Okay.
And,
how is Hoppy Adams down there?
Hoppy is fine. I talked to him about 2 weeks ago. He's buying a station out in Cambridge, Maryland, in the Cambridge Easton area on the eastern shore right across the bay.
Right.
And he's looking forward to some big things. He's been working on it about 10 years, but he says he thinks he's just about got it now.
Well, that's great. Bless you, Enoch.
And bless you, my brother.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of this legendary music, because one of the things I've learned in conversations with all of y'all in the past, Lloyd and Bobby, but you're talking to Al Goodman, there's a song that, Look at Me, I'm in Love. See, people hear the songs and say, well, it's a nice song, we really like the song. Don't necessarily know, the audiences don't get a chance to really know all that's going on that produces the song. Look at Me, I'm in Love was because when Harry Ray came to you one day and said, I think I'm in love. Right. And Harry was the guy who was the lady killer. He doesn't fall in love. And you so impressed by, wow, no kidding, Harry's in love. Wrote a song, Look at Me, I'm in Love. There's a lot of stories around songs like that. In fact, there's a song that Eddie O.J. played this morning, and he said that he knew the story behind this song. I was checking in, and she was checking out.
Yeah, he knows that story.
Don Covey. Yeah.
He said he knew the story behind that one. But Lordy Miss Claudie, that was your first record, and it also sold 1 million copies.
Bob, that's really before anybody knew what 1 million sales were. Lordy Miss Claudie was used in a commercial by the New Orleans' first black disc jockey. His name was Okie Dokie Smith, and he was from Laura, Mississippi. So he would say, Lordy Miss Claudie, eat these mother's homemade pies and drink Maxwell House coffee. So we were little kids, and I knew how to play, again, the same cards in Stagger Lee was in Lordy Miss Claudie. Louis Jordan and Jimmy Ligon and Pee Wee Creighton, Roy Brown, Mr. Google Eyes. Larry Darnell was the biggest thing that's happening, and we were just kids. But Louis Jordan was the man. And Nat Cole wasn't even big then. Charles Brown was the man. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't play shuffles. We couldn't play that Louis Jordan stuff, that dance music. So we as kids had to slow it down. So my brother Leo, he was our drummer. He played on 3 beer cases, and he had no rhythm. It's his whole arms would work, so he came with...
Wait a minute, I did sessions with him.
Right. So, Bobby, on the pot, or what those old bean pots, he would play, that was his cymbal, Bob, and Lordy Miss Claudie came about with what we call now known as 6/8, a 6/8 blues. Dave Bartholomew, who was the biggest man in the world to me at that time, he was the king of rhythm and blues. In fact, I think Dave Bartholomew is really not getting his worth or his credit, because I think he's really created rhythm and blues. He had me, Fats Domino, Smiley Lewis, Paul Gayton, remember?
Paul Gayton,
that whole bit, was all. Anyway, Lord Okie Dokie would come on and say, Lordy Miss Claudie, eat mother's homemade pies and drink Maxwell House coffee. So I saw Lordy Miss Claudie as a girl. I didn't know nothing about that. And I said, oh, Lordy Miss Claudie, girl, you sure look good to me. And my mother had a fish shop. You know, in the South, everybody had their own little fish shops and stuff. So Dave Bartholomew, I think he was creeping out that night. He was in a little town. We lived outside of New Orleans. We lived 7 miles outside by the airport. And it was called Kenner. And he came in for a fish sandwich, and I was sitting at the piano. Half of the piano worked, and half of it didn't. So he said, what is that you playing, boy? And I said, Lordy Miss Claudie. And he said, do that for me again. I did it again for him. He said, I like that. Lordy Miss Claudie. And 3 weeks later, he called me up again. Said, I got a guy from California. He's got a gospel label, Specialty Records, and he had Percy Mayfield at that time. And he said, we're looking for he's looking for little young guys to come out and do music. And I'd like for you to come in, meet him, and sing that Lordy Miss Claudie to him. I did. He called me when Artford got in town, went down there, and who was in the studio? Fats Domino, Earl Palmer, Lee Allen, the whole New Orleans, I can't think of Frank's last name. All of the greatest musicians in the world was there, and they told me to sing. Man, you talk about a trip.
Yeah.
So Fats Domino said, come on, man, sing. Let me hear what you're singing. And I sing, Lordy, Lord. He said, all right, I got it. And he made that great piano introduction. The trouble with it, Bob, I didn't have any words. I just kept repeating it over and over and over. And they told me that's it.
Sold 1 million copies.
Bob, to tell you the truth, they wasn't counting then. I don't know how many it sold. Yeah. I just knew it was number one for a year. And I was very happy. It took me out of Louisiana.
Is that... Vaughn Harper.
Yes, sir.
Playing music here in the 70s and I guess in the 70s and 80s.
And the 90s.
And the 70s,
and the
80s, 90s.
Yes.
On into the year 2000.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, that music is back in the era of 2.5-minute records.
Hey, but wait a minute. Are these two guys...
Sing it here.
Are these two guys the same age?
As who?
Lloyd and Bobby, they're the same age.
Are they the same age?
It must be.
No, as me or the same age?
No, the same age. I mean, they must be the same age.
Both of them 200 years old.
Yeah.
It's Vaughn, my son. I'm a musical historian. What can I tell you?
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you about Bobby J. You ever see that TV show, The Highlander? The guy that's an immortal?
Yeah.
Can't die? That's Bobby J.
Yeah, because everything that Lloyd said, Bobby, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember him, yeah. So I just want to check on it.
But see, now you got to remember now, before I was in radio, I was in records. I've been performing since the age of 11.
Yes, I know, I saw you.
So, yes. Started at PS 185.
Yeah, I saw it.
Some of it was on the corner.
Some of it.
Yeah. Known as the Street Corner Symphony.
Some of it.
Yeah, that's where he used to beat up people, too.
That's right. Well, he used to belong to an organization. Back in those days, they called them social athletic clubs.
No, we didn't.
No. Oh, no. No.
They had
pure D gangs at that point.
They had gang jackets, and the name on the back would be the Bloody Killers, and underneath say SAC.
Well, we were not like the gangs of today. We were very respectful.
Yeah.
We didn't use bad language when women and parents, and we only hurt each other.
Yeah. Well, that's very much like the gangs of today.
But not with fists.
Yeah. In those days, you could break somebody's grandmother could break up a gang fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Grandmother walk out and say,
from
we can't.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. From upstairs.
That's right.
Enoch Gregory.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was listening to Lloyd Price tell that story about Lordy Miss Claudy, and what I started to say was just going back for a moment. I'm from truly in the South. Hertford, North Carolina is about 60 miles below Norfolk, Virginia. And we had separated radio at that time, if you know what I mean. And that particular record was the first that I ever remember totally crossing over. You couldn't listen to those little rinky-dink radio stations down there for 15 minutes without hearing Lordy Miss Claudy.
That's right, Enoch. We were just talking about that. That was one of the songs, the reason why they draft me in the Army. Because that rope started coming down, and the tobacco barns and stuff. That's absolutely correct.
Enoch Gregory, are you with me?
For another couple of minutes. I got to peel off and go do some stuff.
All right.
But it's been a pleasure, and I hope that those who communicated with you long distance will get a little cassette so that we can have a memory.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good idea. We could do that.
Can we work it out?
All right. Greg, it's good to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Greg.
Yeah.
You can't leave without signing off the way you sign off.
Hello.
Oh, you can do it for me.
No. Everybody did their sign off.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Come on, Greg. You're not going to do that now. You are the Dixie Drifters.
Those Sound Sifter, the lover of fast cars, women, and soft summer breezes.
Comes when he wants to.
Leaves when I pleases. Now, if we can remember that, why can't you?
Let's do the last part, Greg.
From the Atlantic to the Pacific,
right.
The soul is terrific.
That's right.
But nobody did it like the Dixie Drifters.
And don't forget.
Walk tall and
stay loose. There you go.
Enoch Gregory, thank you again.
And thank you guys.
All right now.
Y'all take care.
We're going to continue. We've got a lot more happening. We don't have a lot more time. We're going to get everything in the few minutes that we have left. Well, a little bit more than a few minutes. We're going to try. We'll try and get Hal Jackson. Lloyd Price is with us. I want to talk a little bit about Stagger Lee and Lordy Miss Claudie and some of the other things that were happening around. The nature of the record and the entertainment industry in those early days. There were some things going on that Bobby J always refers to as creative accounting.
Tell the truth. 2 or 3 sets of books.
Yeah. And you know, and one of my favorite stories, Lloyd, is you in Pensacola, Florida.
Right.
Right. Tell that story.
Well, you know, the famous dewdrop in New Orleans. When Lordy Miss Claudie hit, Frank Panier came out to my house, and you know, and he spoke to my mother and father that he'd like for me to come and work at the club. Well, at that time, I was getting, you know, $26.40 a week at the airport. And he said he'd give me $50 a night. So couldn't get in for the first week. Second week, he raised me $100 a night. $700 a week in 2 weeks from $26.40. That looked pretty good. He said, I'm going to take you on the road. Now, I don't know nothing about record business or all this. I'm just happy to be there, man. Took me to Pensacola, Florida. And the place was jam-packed. You know, a lot of sailors were there. And after I did the first show, I knew 6 songs, including 2 on, you know, the backside, the front side of Lord of His Claudie. So that was my whole routine. 20 minutes, I'm out of there. So the promoter came in and said, Lloyd, where's Gerald? Gerald was Frank's son. I said, well, Gerald was outside. He said, well, I want you to do another show, man. Here's your money, man, and I want you to do another show. He gave me $750. I said, whoa. Are you sure? He said, that's what I'm paying you, man. Do another show, I'll give you another $750. So I told about that story. I went home, and at that time, I was very young, man. I was just 17 years old. I said, whoa, $750 a night? And that was in 1952. Yeah. I said, whoa. So anyway, Bob, when Gerald came back there, I told him the guy gave me the money, and that was it. I split and went home, and Frank Panier came. That's when Don Roby, Evelyn Johnson, Mo Gale, Jim Shaw, whoever there was, they all came to my mother's house in Louisiana. I was too young, you know. I had to be emancipated to even think about signing a contract.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So that's how I found out, you know, when I was getting ripped off. I thought $100 a night was great, but it was $750.
That's what the guy was getting.
Yeah.
Or willing to pay.
No, that's what the promoter was paying.
That's what the promoter was paying.
Paying Frank Panier, who had the dewdrop in New Orleans. Right. Frank was giving me $100.
Right.
So when I spoke to him about it, he said, well, Claudia, you know it costs money, man. I pay the band, I buy the gas, I do all that. The band was getting $15 a band a night. Right. 6 of them. Anyway, that was the beginning. You know, it was total ripoff.
Yeah.
I don't think it especially happened with us, young kids back during that time. But anyway, I was glad that Lordy Miss Claudie got me out of Kenner.
Nonetheless.
But that's obviously why you became a businessman.
Oh, yeah.
Lloyd has own publishing, own record company.
Own everything.
His own stable of artists. You know, we were talking about Wilson Pickett, who after he left the Falcons, first recorded for Lloyd.
Yeah.
Double L Records.
Double L.
Who took Little Richard to his record company?
I did. Little Richard, when I was going into service, well, the funniest thing happened. I was on my way to the service, to my draft board in Louisiana, and I was playing, I think it was Macon, Georgia. Little Richard's from Augusta. And I'd never seen, the only other guy I'd seen look like Little Richard was Billy Wright. You know, I don't know if you guys remember, Billy Wright had a record, and Billy Wright had...
Excuse me, Bobby knows.
Bobby knows?
I was thinking of Escarita.
Well, Escarita came after.
Yeah, but Richard kind of emulated Escarita with...
Is that right?
With the pompadour and the makeup.
I thought Escarita kind of emulated Richard. But anyway, Richard had on a yellow suit I'd never seen. You know, bright yellow suit, all that hair and all that makeup stuff. And he just jumped. Joe Tex was like James Brown. When you see James Brown, you're looking at Joe Tex. Well, Little Richard jumped out of the stage off the balcony like Joe Tex would do and started banging on the piano. So my brothers, they all went over and grabbed him, and you know, was calling him all kinds of names, all that makeup and stuff on. So, but I heard, gimme. I said, what is he doing? You know what I mean? So, but the people liked him. So after the show, he came in the dressing room. He said, I want a car just like that one you got. I want a Cadillac with a spare tire on it, just like that one. So I said, okay. And the spare tires on them Fleetwoods, you had a long car, man. I had a long car, man. So I said, okay, fine. He said, well, you got to help me. I called Don Roby, who was my agent at that time, and told him about Little Richard. He said, send him over here. Let me hear what he sounds like, etc. Richard went over there and sent him on the road with Johnny Otis. And Mel Walker had left.
Right.
So he started singing with Lil Esther at that time. When they took me in the Army 3 months later, I was talking to Art Rupert Specialty Records, and I heard that Don Roby and Little Richard had a problem. And I told him about Little Richard. I called my little brother Leo and sent him out to see Little Richard. And they recorded, well, I wrote the song, Send Me Some Lovin', and give it to my brother Leo, and he let Little Richard sing it. And the rest of it is history. Bumps Blackwell and all that group got together and did it. But it was Little Richard and Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was a gospel singer on Specialty.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Sam married one of my girlfriends, Dorothy, his first wife.
Is that right?
Yeah, from Fresno, California. Why I'm saying that is because I told Sam to switch over and start singing gospel. So did Mavis Staples. We all was back there together because they had great voices. And I used to see Sam in church. You couldn't get in the church for the soul service.
That's right.
I said, man, you should do what I'm doing, man. And he finally went over and he did it. But that's all back, Little Richard, Sam Cooke, all back on the Specialty record thing.
Real special day here. As a matter of fact, it's WWRL Legacy Day.